I had a little bit of trouble trying to find the original video. Now, I did do one prior to this, I know for sure, but I thought this is like the second or third video in this saga, the story of the little boy by the name of Kendrick Lee, who basically his mother had a relationship with some guy, some thug looking dude, and she chose her love of her boyfriend over her multiple children by multiple different dudes of a different race. And it's just crazy to think how people can think so little of their own children who they chose to bring into this world, made a choice to do that each and every time, and still abandon them in this world that they had no say so in coming to it to suffer behind these fools. But before we get into the details, let me give you guys a disclaimer if you've never been to my channel before. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. And so we're going to use Law and Crime because they do an excellent job with the article. So Law and Crime, if y'all will listen, thank you very much. The mother who did nothing to stop her boyfriend from beating her 8-year-old son to death and then forced her other 3 kids. So there were at least 4 kids. I thought it was like 5, but maybe it's 4 total. Forced her 3 other kids to live with the boy's decaying remains, the dead body. Forced them to live with this dead body for a matter of, I don't remember how much time it was. Maybe they'll give details here in a minute. But she will spend the next 5 decades. She got 50 years in prison, according to court records. Her name is Gloria Yvette Williams. She is 38 years old. Let me get her face up on the screen and guess y'all were talking about her with the blonde hair, looking like somebody just took a bottle of bleach and beat her in the head with it. Let me see if I can get her back on the screen. Let me see. That's the boyfriend. This is actually her. She always got these weird ass hairstyles, but her boyfriend looks even weirder than her. But nonetheless, she's 38 years old and she pled guilty last month to causing serious bodily injury by omission in the death of her son, Kendrick Lee. A judge found her boyfriend, 34-year-old Brian Ward Coulter, who was the thug that y'all saw on her arm, which is this fool, a damn hot fool. 34-year-old Brian Ward Coulter guilty of first-degree murder in April, and they sentenced him to life in prison without the possibility of parole after a 5-day bench trial. So this is literally going to be the conclusion of the story, and sometimes it takes a while, but this is going to be literally the final portion we're going to speak on. Now, during her sentencing Tuesday, Williams told a judge she regretted allowing her children to live with her son's body, but said she did so to keep them away from Coulter, Houston Chronicle reported. Now, I want y'all to remember this. This man beat this boy so badly that he killed him. Not only did he kill him, he didn't report it, she didn't report it, she didn't care, he didn't care. They stuffed his dead body in a closet. Stuffed him in a closet and left him there to rot and decay and be stinking for days and months and months. So here's what happened. Here's what I believe actually happened, because I don't know that they actually put these full details out there. So this is full disclaimer. I personally believe that mom got this house. What do we call it? Babies for benefits. Yes. Can we get that hashtag? We got a lot of hashtags. Hashtag mom's boyfriend. Hashtag babies for benefits. Hashtag TTO. Hashtag when you date thugs, you date death. Right? A lot of hashtags from the AFC. Another one of my hashtags is hashtag babies for benefits. Why? Because I believe that people like these mothers in general, not all, but this one and a bunch of them on my channel, only have children to get benefits off of their backs, whether it be Section 8, food stamps, child support, attention, whatever it is. It's always something that they want and they don't care about these kids. Okay? I believe that she was able to acquire this apartment at no cost to her by way of probably Section 8. That way, she was able to just leave the kids there, leave some type of food and drink there, and then just let them go off and go do their own thing because they had older siblings, and then hopefully get them off to school, and then just act like ain't nothing wrong and ain't nothing going on, and they could just take care of themselves and be self-sufficient with no adult supervision in the house. These are children. These are kids. 4 to 5 kids in this house, right? While she moved out of that apartment that she probably got for free and moved in with her boyfriend, the white boy with the tattoos all over his face, looking like a beach bum weirdo. This guy. This is who she abandoned all her children for. What a hell of a catch, huh? It's a hell of a catch, huh, ladies? She abandoned her son because she was infatuated with this man. She abandoned all her children. She abandoned all her morals. Okay? Now, during her sentencing, Williams told the judge she regretted allowing her children to live with her son's dead body, but said she did so to keep them away from her boyfriend Coulter. While displaying gruesome and disturbing photos from the scene of the boy for the courtroom during Coulter's trial, prosecutors refrained from doing so during Williams' 2-day sentencing hearing and instead just showed them to the individual witnesses. Her defense attorney reportedly emphasized it was Coulter who doled out the abuse, while prosecutors highlighted her inaction. Now that's where I step in. And this is why I like the fact that there are people out there that are sharing my videos and speaking my words, even though I might not get credit for it. I love to see it being changed in the law because our videos do have a lot of views in totality. So I know people out there listening. I've always said if a person, a caretaker, a parent is going to take their children to the thug zoo and go allow their children, he looks like a thug lion, don't he? And go take their children inside the thug's lion cage and leave them in the thug lion cage, and that lion murders and mauls that child, then the person who led the child to the death should be held just as responsible as the person, the lion, the thug who killed the kid. That's how you really get accountability. You can't just keep letting these people drag these children off to their death and only blame the person that caused the death. No, there is a cause and effect to all of this. You have to get everybody who's held accountable. If people saw something, didn't say anything, everybody needs to be held accountable. Her getting 50 years, to me, that's about right. She should get anything less than 50 years. But nonetheless, prosecutors reportedly showed text messages between her and Coulter that showed while she questioned his abuse towards the children, she still professed her love for him. Again, she chose her man over her own damn kids. As Law and Crime previously reported, shocked detectives began their investigation in October 2021. So maybe that's how far back I got to go to find this original story on my channel. When a then 15-year-old boy called 911 to say he and his siblings, who were then ages 7 and 10 years old, had been living with Kendrick's dead body in a West Houston home for a year. Investigators later learned that after Kendrick's death sometime in late 2020, Coulter and Williams covered the boy's body with a blue blanket and then moved to another apartment, leaving the kids behind. Police arrested the pair a couple of weeks after the 15-year-old's 911 call. The siblings testified that they saw Coulter repeatedly beating Kendrick while he was still alive. The youngest brother told the judge about how he watched Kendrick's eyes until he stopped blinking during the beating. The death of Kendrick Lee was so tragic, and because of the fact for so long that there was no one to speak up for him, we felt like we had a duty to be his voice, said Assistant District Attorney Celeste Byram at Coulter's conviction. It was important that we were able to secure justice for him. Said co-counsel Edward A. Applebaum, no matter who you are, if you are a human being, the facts of this case would shake you to the core. It's a horrific act. Williams charged charges accused of her failing to protect Kendrick and give him proper medical care, food, and shelter. And again, because she led her son to this, knew what was going on, didn't do anything, and didn't give a damn, I think that 50 years is suitable. And him getting life without parole, I think, is as good as it's going to get since you can't give him the death penalty. Let me give you guys a disclaimer, a fair usage about these news videos. So here we go. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Just so people know, a simple way to support my channel is just to hit the thumbs up and leave a comment. You can subscribe to the channel. Super easy to do. Doesn't cost you anything. But if you do want to contribute, the links are in the description box for you to be able to help us and continue to keep pushing this message for justice for our kids. This case happened back in 2020, 2021. And this is how long it took for us to finally get to this point. So help us out with that. Share this message. Hit that thumbs up. Here we go.
Developing this afternoon, a judge hands down a 50-year prison sentence to Houston mother Gloria Williams today. She was accused of letting her son's body decompose for a year after her boyfriend fatally beat the child. Our Stephen Goen is at the Harris County Courthouse with the details. Stephen, what was it like in court today?
Well, Marcelino,
So I'm glad they clarified. Y'all heard that, right? Okay, some of y'all did hear that. They let his body decay for a year. That's how long that's been going on, for a year. Do y'all know what that would smell like in that apartment, or anybody else that would smell it if you open the doors? If the maintenance people would come by and do maintenance every once in a while? A year? Huh? I thought most apartments at least come do maintenance, at least basic maintenance once a month. A year. Neighbors didn't smell anything. She never cared for those kids. Thank you, Dre.
Courthouse with the details. Stephen, what was it like in court today?
Well, Marcelino, there was some emotion in that courtroom when the sentencing was read aloud. One of Williams' family members actually just ran out of the room. This moment, we know, more than 4 years in the making. The sentencing came after a punishment hearing today where the defense called multiple people to the stand, including Williams' cousin and her aunt. Just last month, Williams pleaded guilty to 2 counts of injuring a child connected to her son Kendrick Lee's death. The 8-year-old boy's skeletal remains were found in an apartment in 2021 after one of his brothers called police. Authorities later discovered that Williams had abandoned Kendrick's 3 brothers in that apartment with the 8-year-old's decomposing body. Today, prosecutors said they were satisfied and glad Williams' young sons did not have to testify.
We are grateful that the judge gave us a fair hearing, that she listened to all of the evidence, evaluated it in a fair manner, and I think justice was served. We always did this because of the kids. I'm speaking for those who couldn't speak out during this process, and I think that we did a fair job of that.
Even with that moment right there when she said, speaking for those who can't speak out, like one of my famous sayings is, we give children a voice, we speak for those who cannot speak for themselves nor defend themselves against the tyranny of their caretakers. So that's my full statement. So I don't know if they're getting that from me or if it's just a common phrase they repeat, but I like to think that what we do here is significant, personally.
Now, Williams' partner, Brian Coulter, was previously sentenced in April to life without parole for Kendrick Lee's murder. Williams will now face her punishment for the role she played in this. We know that she will have to serve more than 20 years before she is eligible for parole. As for the children she abandoned, today prosecutors said they were being taken care of, but they would not give us any specifics as to protect the children's privacy. We're live at the Harris County Criminal Court. Stephen Goen, KHOU 11 News.
Got one more video. We're going to keep this short. Short update.
Now new at 5, a Houston mother is sentenced for her role in the death of her 8-year-old son. It's a story that horrified our region after that young boy's body was found decomposed in the apartment where his brothers were still living. Fox 26's Jonathan Mejia is live at the Harris County Courthouse with this news. Jonathan.
Gloria Williams was sentenced to prison, 50 years in prison, because she pleaded guilty. Now, according to court documents, Williams pleading guilty to a charge of injury to a child with serious bodily injury. Her 8-year-old son, Kendrick Lee, was beaten to death by his stepfather, Brian Coulter, in November of 2020. Prosecutors say it was important to get justice and be the voice for the children.
I think justice was served. We always did this because of the kids. That was always the concern that Edward and I had, was speaking for those who couldn't speak out during this.
Speaking for those who can't speak out. Giving a voice to the children who can't speak for themselves nor defend themselves.
Process.
Back in April, Coulter was sentenced to life in prison without parole.
That's the thug boyfriend. And mom is just as guilty for allowing the thug boyfriend to beat her kid up, and for her to sit there and let it happen, not do anything, not give a damn, and still be with this fool.
After being found guilty of murder. Though Kendrick died in 2020.
Look, I'm not going to lie. 50 years is a lot, but I think she should have got a life sentence with no possibility of parole, too. I mean, damn, you just can't be that level of damn stupid.
It wasn't until nearly a year later that his body was found inside a West Houston apartment where he lived with his 3 brothers alone. The attorney
could have been in March of 2020, could have been in June of 2020, could have been in September of 2020, could have been in October of 2020. We could just go on every single month, but she did nothing. And that's the point.
Coming up on the News Edge Early Edition, we'll hear from the attorneys that defended Williams and also when she's eligible for parole. I'm reporting live inside the Harris County Courthouse. Jonathan Mejia, Fox
I would
26
love to
News.
see her never eligible for parole. And again, let's go through these pictures so you guys can see these things. These are some of the pictures I've saved over time so you can see that she's kind of changed her hair up a bit. So I guess they're not giving away bleach bottles in prison right now. But nonetheless, that has to be traumatizing to the surviving children. So you're talking about at least, 3 of them that we know of that are going to have to go through life knowing that this happened, experiencing this, and we're going to have to pray that they get some counseling, get some help, get some guidance, and some real parents who can help them grow up and become something great, because we don't even know if they're in the system or what. We have no idea. But I get that they're probably going to keep that kind of on the low key, for their protection. I get it. But at the same time, you got to keep those children in your prayers. But I got faith as long as they survive that they'll have an opportunity to grow up and become something great. No part played in by the mother or her weak ass boyfriend. Where are the biological fathers with this many kids that probably had different dads? We haven't heard the biological fathers come out and speak up. Hopefully that they would have gotten an opportunity to get custody. Don't know where they at. Are they in jail? Are they just deadbeats? Who knows? There's just so much that we don't know. But we do know that this baby boy lost his life for absolutely no reason. And one of my favorite pictures of him is, let's see if I can go back to it. Probably this one. He just seemed like a really chill, laid-back kid. So Kendrick Lee, this is the conclusion of your story, and we got justice. Young Prince, R.I.P. So I hope that his soul can rest well, and I hope that his mother and boyfriend make it to where Satan is very, very soon. That would be awesome. Thank you guys so much for listening to this story. This is the final update. It's probably like the 3rd update that we've done, but that's going to conclude this story, okay? Thank you guys so much for listening with an open mind as well as an open heart. Okay? Thank you.